Hi everyone, it's Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share Facebook Live video. This is a Stampin' Chat with Kay, so good morning, it's great to be here. And I like to start out my Stampin' Chats with something that makes me happy. And the number one thing that makes me happy today is thinking about yesterday. Yesterday was my demo meeting for my Stamping to Share downline. We are called Creative Crafters Stamping to Share because we are all from such different backgrounds and walks of life. Some of us are just pure card makers, some of us are pure 3D people, and some of us do a nice mixture of both, and it's just so much fun to get together with my downline. So we had around 18 people that came to my house last night, and then quite a number more that tuned on with our Facebook Live that we do on our group page. So we have ladies and no gentlemen yet, but hoping for that. But right now we have ladies scattered all across the United States. So it's so much fun to do our monthly meetings. And that's what makes me happy, is thinking about how much fun we had last night at the meeting. So hello, we have a nice group joining us. Thank you so much. One of the things that happened at the meeting last night is, of course, we talked about all of the fun things that Stampin' Up! Is doing right now, including on stage and all of the fabulous kits that they have, and of course the wonderful starter kit that we have for new demonstrators. So if you've been thinking about joining Stampin' Up, I can't encourage you enough to contact your demonstrator and get some more information, because it's an extra $50 of free stuff that you get during celebration. So that is really cool. So the starter kit price stayed the same, but all the extra product is more. Hooray! That's so much fun. One of my New Year's resolutions, in addition to stamping on envelopes, which I'm doing a poor job of today, just to warn you, is to drink more water. So my assistant gave me this great big water mug. I don't know, it's probably 2 years ago already, and for a while I drank it. I drank one of these every single day, and then it kind of, fall off the wagon. So that's another one of my resolutions. If you have any New Year's resolutions, it's always kind of fun to see what people are trying to implement these early days of January 2019. So feel free to let me know what those are. I'm going to set this aside so I don't knock it over. And, oh my gosh, so I have all the doors closed so I'm not distracted, because I know I'm expecting a Stampin' Up! Order today, so the doorbell may ring, but my daughter's upstairs so she can take it in the house. And I'm just hot. It's hot in here. We've had some pretty cold weather, and then I have a heated floor in my stamping room down here in our lower level of our house. And so, I have to get comfortable here because we're going to do some heavy-duty stamping. So again, thank you so much for joining me. What am I going to share today? That's always the question, isn't it? And so let me think. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to give away some ribbon. No surprise, it's one of my favorite things to send in a card because I can do it so inexpensively postage-wise. But I'm going to send along 2 yards of our Poppy Parade, what is this called? The Poppy Parade Textured Weave Ribbon. This is something from our holiday catalog, but it continued into our Occasion Spring catalog. So this is something you can still order, and we're going to be using it on one of our cards today. And so when you share, either on your timeline or make comments on the video as we progress along, you can be in the Woo Box drawing, and I draw 2 names, and 2 people will win, I think, their choice of whatever card we're making today, because we're making 3 cards. I only advertised 2, but we're going to make 3. So hold on, this could be a long video because, of course, they're not the easiest cards. But they're really, really pretty. So I think that makes up for easy, right? One of the cards is, well, a couple of the cards are pretty easy. But like I said, I'll give you your choice. And I'll give away that Poppy Parade Textured Weave Ribbon, 2 yards each, to a couple of lucky winners on Monday. So if you don't catch this live, no big deal. You can still like and share and comment all the way through Monday. And then I'll do the drawing Monday morning. Then you have 48 hours to get back in touch with me with your address. And yes, once in a while I have duplicate winners. Once in a while it's a downline member that wins. Once in a while it's a customer that wins. I still require you to get in touch with me so that I know that you know you're a winner and you can give me your address. Plus, it really helps for me to have the addresses all in one place. So even if you've won before, I still need your address because it just helps my brain when I'm addressing these out and I don't have to run to 5 different places in my house to figure it out. So welcome. Thank you. Oh, good. Janine is telling me she's going to go get a cup of coffee because she's going to be ready to listen. So awesome. Well, I'm going to flip the camera down and I'm going to share a couple of beautiful cards that I got from a couple of my lovely demonstrators last night. So let me flip it down and we'll get started. Thank you again for joining me. Oh, and I have to have my logo showing. Like, for as much work as I do on my blog, it's amazing how few people actually go to my blog, but for as much work as I do on it, I want to make sure I have my logo up here. So in case you'd ever go to my blog, you know where it is. www.stampingtoshare.com. I've had my blog since 2007. Did not start it with any intention of really, being that business-minded demonstrator. I just did it because it was fun and it was kind of the thing to do back in 2007. Just for my own personal fun. But I'm still doing it many years later. Okay, so let me share the cards. The first card that I received is from my downline member, Judy Hammond, and she created a really pretty card, and it's got a really neat gatefold opening. So now this is a landscape style card because it's kind of the long way. And she's got a little flap here that goes over this part and then decorative paper back here and some pretty punched out flowers. So it says, celebrate you. You might guess it's my birthday in a couple of days, so I have to share my cards with you. And then when you open it up, you have happy birthday with the pretty punched out flower. And then this is what I thought was really unique. So for those of you that send cards to customers or to friends and family members and don't like to sign them, hoping that they will, hoping that the card is kind of like a gift and they'll pass it on. Sometimes it's nice to have a little paper in there explaining it because not everybody knows why you aren't signing your cards. So I'm going to hold this up to the camera so you can see what it says. Oh, pray that my hands are steady. But it says, it is my habit to not sign my handmade cards to enable the recipient the option of re-gifting the card if they so desire. Isn't that nice? I think that is just a super, super way of letting people know that the card is the gift. So of course, Judy, thank you. I will reuse this card because I do send quite a few cards out to my customers and to friends and family. So this beautiful card will be reused. Thank you. And then I got another card last night from Mary Smallage, who's in my group. And she used some of the Gingham Gala 6x6 paper on her background. And then, oh Lord, I have no idea what stamp set this is. I don't think I have it. In fact, I know I don't have it. However, Mary was telling me last night that she set this all up on the Stamparatus and did markers and was able to marker in specific areas of the stamp by using the Stamparatus. Now, this is a new technique to me. I've never seen this, and so I asked Mary if she would demonstrate this next month at our Stamping to Share downline meeting. So I usually get a demonstrating demonstrator to come, who will participate by sharing something. So Mary's going to share how to do this. So if you are in my Stamping to Share group, if you decide to join by next month at this time, you will be able to get in on that Facebook Live if you're long distance, or maybe be able to come in person if you're local and see Mary demonstrate how to do this. It's a beautiful card. Thank you so much, Mary. And if anyone knows what the name of this stamp set is, oh, I'd love to know too. All right, let me go on to what we're talking about today with the cards I'm making. We are going to focus on the Lasting Lily Celebration Stamp Set. And so this is it, and it's a big set, and it's so big that it's actually going to take $100 in a product order in order to claim this as a Stampin' Celebration reward. And then, of course, here's the Celebration catalog, and they have some really nice ideas back here for how to actually use this stamp set. One thing that I like is there's a You Can Make It. So if you purchase everything in the You Can Make It suggestions, including the Stamparatus down here, then your total sales from that You Can Make It is going to be $118.25, which means you can have the Lasting Lily stamp set free. So I've already had quite a few customers who have already gotten the Lasting Lily, and they're excited to see my ideas for it. So let's go ahead and get started. And I am actually going to make the hardest card first today. So not that it's super hard, but it does use the Big Shot. Here is the card we're going to make first. And this is a card that I will be doing at Spring Fling, which is on March 23rd. This is an event that my downline and I put together here in Minnesota. And it is a gorgeous card. And for those of you planning to come to Spring Fling, you know, pay attention to this video because this is how to do this card. All right, so we're going to start. Well, I should bring it up so you can really see how beautiful this is. There's a gorgeous background created with, oh, and I won't remember the name, but I think it's the Woodlands embossing folder. And then, of course, there's the With Sympathy banner. This is Melon Mango cardstock. And then the lilies can either be stamped, you know, one single color, or I prefer to do a two-tone. So I'm going to show you how to sponge it to get this two-tone look. And then here's our inside. And we're going to be using the textured wood, or the wood texture 6x6 paper, and almost any of the wood textures looks good. So it really doesn't matter which wood textures you get, it's going to look beautiful. So I'm going to set this aside, and the first thing that we're going to do is take a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White paper, and we're going to run that through the Big Shot. So one of my customers just recently purchased a Big Shot. She had something else on hand at home, but wasn't as happy with it because it just didn't seem as sturdy as what I'm always showing on my videos with the Big Shot. So when you get a brand new Big Shot, and I know a lot of you are going to be doing that during celebration, let me show you what you get. So you get two cut plates, you get a thin die adapter for using with your thinlets and framelets, and then you get your base platform. Well, when you use an embossing folder, such as our Woodland embossing folder, you are going to want to take away the thin die adapter. And actually, it even shows you how to use it right pictured onto these platform and adapter dies, so you won't ever even forget how to do it because it shows you right there how to do it and how you need to make your sandwiches. So you're going to take away the thin die adapter and use the Big Shot platform. Then you're going to put one of your cut plates down. Then you're going to get your embossing folder, and as you remember, my 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White is going to go in here. So I'm just going to set this. Now this is kind of a weird one because it goes the opposite of the way my brain thinks. The bottom of the folder is actually towards this center line. I'm not sure why they made it that way. I don't think all of our folders are like that. A lot of times the bottom is towards here. But in this case, in the Woodland embossing folder, all these little leaves and stuff, which I'm assuming branches go in an upward direction, they're going this way. So anyway, once you have that set in there, then you just put your second cut plate over the top, and then via the magic of the Big Shot machine, you roll it through with the really sturdy handle. And once it's through, you get something that looks like this, all embossed and absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to set that aside. That's the only Big Shot portion of our entire Facebook Live today. So we can put the Big Shot away. Then what you're going to do is you're going to grab a piece of our textured wood, I keep saying it wrong. What in the world is it called? It is our wood textures 6x6 stack. So this is what it looks like. And as you can see, there's lots of pretty backgrounds in here. And it doesn't matter which one you use. They're all beautiful. And then you're going to, let me grab this out. You're going to cut a 4x5 1/4 inch panel out, okay? And then once you do that, and I prefer to cut it so that the wood grain is going up and down. I just think that's maybe a more natural look, although it really doesn't matter for this card. But you're going to put that on there. You're going to cut a 4x5 1/4. Then you're going to put it onto your Stampin' Trimmer, and you are going to cut a diagonal from the upper left to the lower right. Just cut a diagonal, and that's going to give you 2 triangles that you are going to be able to create 2 cards with. So I did do this in advance. So I've got this one cut. So we've got this kind of crazy one, but I think it looks absolutely beautiful on these cards. So on this side you have the wood pile, and on the other side you have one of the wood slabs. So we're just going to take some liquid glue here from Stampin' Up, and I'm just putting, you know, a little triangle of glue into the triangle of paper, and we're going to set this right here and get that glued in. And that looks pretty good. All right, so we have our first one done. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take one of those scrap pieces that you will have left over, and you're going to cut a 3/4 inch by 4 inch strip from the scrap piece. We're going to put that inside our card and get it out of the way so I don't have so many pieces on my desk. So the card is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch, scored at 5 1/2, and then you fold it, and I already did that in advance. You can use a bone folder to make it lie flat for you. And then you're going to take this strip, and you're just going to set this on the left-hand side of your inside panel. Then I have to share something with you, because a lot of people don't realize this. But is there a right or is there a top or a bottom when you have a piece of paper that looks like this? Because you can see you have some darkness down here and some lightness up here. Well, if you've ever studied, I don't know how to say it. Oh boy. It's this, you know how when you walk in a room, if it feels really good, they call that, I don't know, is it feng shui? Anyway, feng shui says that you can get a more calming feeling if you keep the darker part of the paper to the bottom. Okay, so that's just like a really weird little piece of information there, and it probably doesn't matter that much, but I heard that somewhere, sometime at one point in my life, and that's how I do it. So if I have a question, do I want the light to the top or the light to the bottom? I typically go with the dark towards the bottom. Yeah, that's kind of weird, but you know. All right, then the other thing you're going to need for sure, I don't think I have it. Where is it? I thought I had everything ready. I'm going to have to run because I cannot stamp without it. Oh, I put it away. That's terrible. I'll be right back. I need my Stampin' Pierce mat because we are going to be using photopolymers, and you get the best image if you have your Stampin' Pierce mat. So now what we're going to do is whoops, I have so many stamps on my desk, I have to put them in baskets. So I've got my Early Espresso ink pad. We're going to open that up, and we're going to stamp the inside sentiment, which comes as every single stamp I'm using today is from the Lasting Lily. So you'll get to see how big this stamp set is. And this is a sympathy card. So the inside panel says, "May the constant love of caring friends bring you comfort and joy." So there it is. The inside is done. And then we can go ahead and we can set this panel on our inside. So I'm just going to put that down with a little snail. So I'm just going to put snail all around. And I should look and see who's all on here. Oh my goodness. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Oh, we've got people that are dealing with severe weather. Oh my gosh. Stay safe, stay home, and stamp. That's all I've got to say. That will cure any severe weather problems. Okay, so here is the card as is. We're getting almost ready now to do the fun stuff. So we're going to set this aside, and we're going to stamp this little panel that's going to say "With Sympathy." So this is 3/4 inch by 4.5, and the reason I've made it a little longer than what you would think is I've got my triple banner punch, and even though there's not a groove for 3/4 or for oh my gosh, I can't talk. So this is 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inches. Those are the size of the banners for the triple banner punch. Even though I don't have a groove for 3/4 inch, you can still do it. You just put it so that the back of the paper is all the way to the back of the punch. And then there is kind of a clue. I'll give you a close-up in a second. So I'm going to punch this out. See? Very perfect. I like very perfect. But I'm going to bring this up to the camera. Okay. Do you see these two little notches here? Right there and right there. If you center your 3/4 inch panel of paper right between those two notches, that's your 3/4 center line. Okay, so we're going to set that aside, and now we're going to do our stamping with Sympathy. So again, I have to bring my Stampin' mat into the picture. I'm going to get the With Sympathy. We're inking that up in early espresso, and I'm going to stamp it. Oh, I want to leave a little room on the left for some twine, so not quite the middle, maybe a hair over to the left. There it is. With Sympathy looks fantastic. Now, this is going to be the tricky part when we get together at Spring Fling. People get really hyper when they see that they have to tie bows. So I'm going to show you how to do this and why it's not going to be that difficult. So you're going to take your, I got to get my Scotch tape in here. You're going to take your linen thread. This is new in the Occasions catalog, and it's in Old Olive. Comes on a little roll like this. You're going to take a piece of tape to hold that down. Then you're just going to wrap it around like 4 or 5 times. There's 3, there's 4. We'll do 5. And then you're going to squish that kind of together. And then you're going to take another piece of tape and you're just going to hold that all together in the back. See? Not that hard. Now we're going to take a scissors and just cut that off. But it's all secure. Okay? Then what you want to do is take, so this is my secret ingredient. Oh no, do I have it? I had it, but it's so tiny it's easy to lose. This is where I could get into trouble. Or where you could get into trouble. Okay, I don't see it. It's so tiny, I think I lost it. Okay, what it is a dental floss thing. Maybe I have it over there. Hold on, I'm gonna grab it because I know where I have one. All right, so maybe you guys have seen this. These are these for people that have bridges and stuff in their mouths and they need to clean under the bridge. There's these gum dental floss deals, and I'll have these on my Spring Fling table for you to use because they work so slick. But then once you use it, you have to put it back because otherwise you'll be like me and not be able to find it. So you're going to slide that under. Then you're going to take, I don't know, you know, just cut some off. Don't worry about it. You're going to take like, I don't know, let me just measure it out because somebody's going to want to know. Take about 9 inches of linen thread. And then you're going to take that and run it through this little dental floss thing and then pull it under. See? That's it. That's all you do. And then you're going to tie your bow. And you can do a great big loose bow. The most problem I see with people tying bows is they don't give themselves enough thread to work with. They're always trying to be so conservative. Don't be conservative. Take about 9 inches. And that way you can actually do it without any issues. So then once you get your big floppy bow, then it's really easy to go in and, you know, put your finger on the knot so it stays nice. And look how cute that is. You can make it as little as you want. Then you're going to take your scissors again and just trim that up. Best if you use a ribbon scissors, because if you use a scissors that's got a lot of gunk on it, then you're going to find that it won't cut cleanly. But there it is. That's all it is for making a really, really cute little bow. All right, so now we're going to go ahead now and do our stamping. And you know what? I'm going to put this away because I don't want to lose it. All right, so in it goes. Now we're going to do our stamping for this card, and it's 3 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to bring this in again so you can see the colors we used. We are going to use a new color from Stampin' Up! That just debuted in the annual catalog in June, and it's our Mango Melody. And so I'm just going to ink, and I've already got my, you know, I've already got this all set up so it's perfect. So I'm not going to move those. I'm just going to ink this up with Mango Melody. I'm going to get my Stampin' Mat in the picture. And yes, I know I still have to sponge. I can hear a couple of you screaming because, you know, I do make those mistakes sometimes. But I've got it under control. Then we are going to sponge some Calypso Coral on top of the Mango Melody. Oh, and Lori's asking when Spring Fling is. Well, I actually have it scheduled for March 23rd. Anyone who's local can attend. All right. Then we have our little sponge. This is just a wedge of the Stampin' Sponges. I'm going to ink that up in Calypso Coral. And we are going to sponge the very bottoms of these beautiful lilies. Aren't they pretty? Oh my goodness. All right, so then we're going to set this aside. Then we're going to get our paper here. And what you want to do is you want to get this stamped pretty close to the top. Okay? So go pretty close to the top and stamp. And don't take it off right away. You know, hold it on there a minute. Let the ink get into the paper. Then lift it away. Oh my Lord, how beautiful. Okay, so we've got that done. Then we're going to take our old olive ink pad. We are going to ink up the stems, which again, I just have all ready to go on a block. So easy. And then you're just going to carefully set that in. And it's all ready to go. So all you have to do is set that in just like so. Oh no, I just realized I don't have a protector under here. Oh well, I'm gonna go with it. So have any one of you eagle-eyed people seen what I did wrong here? This happens at Spring Fling all the time. Oh, okay. We'll do something about it. So I should have had scrap paper under here. So we're going to remedy that. Later, I can go in with a baby wipe and just clean that off, but for now, we'll get our scrap paper under. Okay, so there it is. Looks so pretty, but we're missing a leaf. So again, we're going to take our old olive. We're going to ink up a leaf. This leaf is separate from the stem, so it has to be inked up separately. And then you can just go ahead and stamp it next to the stem. And it is going to go off the paper, and that's okay. That's the look we're after, actually. So there it is, all beautiful. And your card is pretty much done at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over, grab our snail, and we're putting this flat onto our card. We're just going to set this over here on the left side. Make sure that your bottom wood border and your bottom border or your left side border are about even. I'm going to flip it over and press from the back, so because the ink's probably still a little wet. Pretty. Then you're going to take some dimensionals, and you're going to put 3 dimensionals on this banner. One right next to all of these little threads, one towards the end, and then one in the middle. All right, then you're going to take this and you're going to make it even with the side of your white border over here and set that so it's, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch above the bottom white panel. And there it is, your card is complete. Who loves this card? Do you love this card? I do. So if I were actually online, I would give myself a heart. So let's see a few hearts about how awesome this card is. All right, yay, I'm getting some hearts. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to set this aside because I have another beautiful card that we're going to make, which isn't going to be as hard because I started with the hardest card. Hooray, thanks for all the hearts, you guys. You're awesome. Okay, so the next card we're going to make is this one. Woo! Can you see the rainbows? Look! I'm using that really cool Grapefruit Grove foil paper, and look at the rainbows. Oh my gosh, this just makes me so excited. Okay, so that's another celebration item. So let me grab my book. We're going to open it up to the foils somewhere in here. Here they are. So right here, we have the Grapefruit Grove and the Lovely Lipstick foil sheets. Now, Lovely Lipstick is beautiful, and if we didn't have the Grapefruit Grove, I'd be over the moon about Lovely Lipstick. I mean, look how gorgeous that is. However, there's just something so exciting about the Grapefruit Grove foil because there's a million rainbows in it, and I just can't stop looking at it. It's like truly, I think, my very favorite foil paper that Stampin' Up! Has ever come out with. So much fun. So we're going to use it today, and it is so cool. Look at that. Oh my God, I can't stop doing that. It's really a problem. All right, so let's go ahead and make this card. So what we're gonna need is, I'm gonna start with, what should I start with? Well, let's do the inside, then I can get some things out of the way that's on my table. So we're gonna start with our card base and our inside panel. So we've got, actually, you know what? Even before we do that, we need to cut this paper. So let me grab one more thing here. All right, so the Gingham Gala is a 6x6 designer series paper pack. And there's Daffodil Delight, what's this one? Highland Heather, Grapefruit Grove, that's the one I'm using, Lemon Lime Twist, and Balmy Blue. We're going to use Grapefruit Grove, and we're going to need 2 strips from this. So I'm going to give you a hint, because if you just cut the 6x6 paper in half, then you don't leave yourself with a 3/4 inch strip, because you want that for your inside panel. So what you want to do is, I have a piece here where I've drawn it out for you. You are going to measure 3/4 of an inch up and cut that first. So that's going to be your first cut, so that you have something to decorate the inside of your card. Because if you just cut it in half, you've not left yourself a nice long strip. So cut that strip first, and then this panel, which goes right here, is 3 by 5 1/4 inches. And then this panel, which is down here, is your 3/4 inch strip. So just be sure you cut this one first. And then these panels over here is for my my third card that we'll be doing. So I'll share that again later. All right, so let's take this card, this 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel of Whisper White. We're gonna put a little snail on the left side, and we're just going to line this up on the left side. And yes, I know this panel is 5 1/4, and I know that my strip of paper is 6 inches. And I often do this because then you can flip it over, take your scissors. Oh dear, where's my scissors? Of course it's not here. I'm going to have to do a no-no and use my ribbon scissors, but hopefully this will be okay. I typically don't use ribbon scissors to cut regular paper. I know it's my ribbon scissors because there's a ribbon on it. That's how I keep them all straight. Okay, so you're going to cut that so that it's perfectly perfect. Then you're going to put it on the inside panel of your 5.5 by 8.5 inch piece of Grapefruit Grove's cardstock scored at 4 1/4. And the inside panel is going right here. So again, we'll just use some snail and we'll set this in, and the inside panel is done, and that eliminates a little bit of stuff from my desk. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, because there's no ribbon wraps, we're going to get this out of the way. This is our 3 by 5 1/4 inch panel. That's the Grapefruit Grove gingham. We can just put that on with snail. So why don't I put snail on Whisper White? You may be asking yourself if you've not watched many of my videos. It's because snail, what did I just say? I think I said that wrong. Why do I not put glue on Whisper White panels? That's what I should have said. Because your glue lines will show through, maybe not right away, but within a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you'll see every little place that you glued on Whisper White because Whisper White's so thin. But with our regular cardstock or our designer series paper, you can put glue on it and it's not a big deal. The lines won't show. So that's why I tend to use glue with designer paper or with our colored cardstock. All right, so now let's go ahead and do some stamping. Let's do this Wishing You Well first because that is a punch. So I've got a scrap of Grapefruit Grove, and oddly enough, again, because this is a photopolymer stamp, you can see where you're stamping. What I want to do is punch out, what is this punch called? Sure, it's not labeled. I think it's okay, somebody can help me out if I'm wrong, but I think this is the Everyday Label Punch. Oh, I hope it is. But I like to punch it first. Oh no, I'm going to have to use my ribbon scissors again. Oh, I hope this doesn't ruin it. But what I'm going to do is I want to make this punch out narrower. And if I have stamping on there, it distracts me when I'm trying to cut. So I like to do this before I actually do the stamping. So what am I doing? I'm starting right here. But I'm going to do a little tick mark here. But I'm looking here. So I don't look as I cut. I just, not immediately. I look to the end. So I'm just going to cut straight. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Just give it a little straight cut across. And if I don't have stamping there, somehow I get straighter cuts because the stamping somehow distracts me. All right, so you're just cutting the top and the bottom off the Everyday Label Punch, and then you have this cute little label that works great for this card. So we're going to stamp Wishing You Well with our Early Espresso ink. And I'm going to grab the Stampin' Mat because it's a photopolymer set. And then we're going to stamp that right in the middle. Again, I'm not rocking it. I'm not taking it off too quick. I'm just being relaxed about it. And that way you'll get a really nice image. Okay, now the next step is to use my giveaway items. So when you share this, either on your Facebook page or if you make comments on the video, you'll be in the drawing for 2 yards. And what I'm going to do, I'm not fussy about this. Ooh, I cut that really close. I don't want to cut it that close. I should have measured. I'm going to go a little wider because I don't want to goof this up. So I'm going to take some snail and I'm going to put snail on the ribbon like this. And then, oh, I put it on the wrong side. Well, shoot. Because that's kind of the back side. It's the lighter side. I wanted to put snail on the front side. So I'm going to try it again. I know most people wouldn't even see the difference, but I do. So I want to put snail on the front side. because snail works really good on ribbon. It holds it on there really good. Then I'm going to hoover this over the top, and I don't care about my ends and what they look like right now. I just want to get this onto the ribbon. Okay, that looks good. All right, then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to move it again because it doesn't look good from the back. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to burnish it down, because when you press really, really hard on your adhesive, that's called burnishing, and it will cause it to stay really well. So now it probably is going to be kind of hard to take this off. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim these edges. Whoops. Like this. You kind of have to hold the ribbon while you're doing this, because I just want a little bit on each side to show. And that's going to be our ribbon treatment on this card. So pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty gorgeous, don't you think? All right, so now what we can do is grab our dimensionals. Oh no, we can't grab our dimensionals because we have to do more stamping. So now we've got the pretty Grapefruit Grove rainbow. I've noticed I gave myself a couple extras here just in case I goof up. But we have our Whisper White 2 by 4.5. And this is where we're going to stamp this pretty flower. And we are going to use Grapefruit Grove ink. So I'm going to get that in the picture here. There's the Grapefruit Grove. And where is my... Here we go. So we need to clean this because this has Calypso Coral and... What was the other color we used? Calypso Coral and Mango Melody. So we don't want that to be intermixed. So we're just going to take our handy dandy chamois from Stampin' Up. We're just gonna clean this off. And then I can go ahead and pull this off because I'm not actually going to use it for this card. I only want one. So I'm going to set this. So there's a little spike in here. That's the center of the flower. I don't know really what that thing is called, but I'm lining it up so that it goes straight up and down. And then I'm going to put a block D over it. There. And that's set up now the way I want to stamp it. So let me grab my paper here. I'll put that away so you can see better what I'm doing. We've got the 2 and a 4.5 inch piece of Whisper White. We're going to ink this up with Grapefruit Grove. So here's our Grapefruit Grove. And then our accent color is going to be Poppy Parade. So I'm going to open this up. And we're going to take a sponge and we're going to sponge a little Poppy Parade onto the bottom of this flower. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I know it'll be pretty. You just watch. All right, then we're going to take this sort of, again, you want to get it towards the top of the paper. And we'll stamp. See how it comes out. Hello, hello, everyone. My goodness, we have people from Belgium watching, Arizona, all over the place. All right, we're going to open this up. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. Okay, so that was Grapefruit Grove with Poppy Parade. And now we're going to do the garden, or not the garden green, the Old Olive. All right, so I'm going to be lazy. I could take, well, actually, oh, I do have another block. I was thinking I didn't have another block. So let me clean this up. And let me pull off this stem. And let me put this on, what block number is this? A block H. So I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to set it sort of on one of these lines on my grid paper here. This is not grid paper. This is a grid that Stampin' Up sold years ago when I first joined Stampin' Up. And I wish they had them again, but they don't. People always ask me where they can get one, but I don't know because they don't make them anymore. All right, so you're going to take this Old Olive ink and you're going to just stamp that right here. Beautiful. Then we'll take that pretty, pretty flower again. We're going to ink it up with the old olive ink. And you know, you guys, you got to be really careful on these edges because it's super easy. Like, see all this ink that's over here? Super easy to get that onto your paper if you rock. So be very careful not to rock it. Because this one wants to rock a lot. Because, look at that. It's kind of set up towards the left side. That's the way the flower is. And it wants to rock. And when you rock, you get that really nasty line. So we don't want that. So just be very careful that you don't rock that leaf when you're stamping it. All right, there it is, all beautiful. Now we're going to take some snail. I'm just going to put about 3 strips on here. Then we're going to get my favorite foil, and we're going to cut that 2.5 inches by 4 3/4. This is a celebration foil, so you have to order at least $50 in order to claim this as your free prize. Then we're going to set this in so that all 4 borders are pretty much even. We'll flip it over and burnish it from the back. And then we're going to take some dimensionals and we'll put 5 dimensionals on here. So 1 in the middle and then 1 in each corner. So when I'm doing dimensionals, oh, Lynn's saying how she hates it when she rocks. I know. And you know what, Lynn? You're not alone. I even do it. I try not to, but every once in a while it just happens. And it can happen really easy when you're stamping on these cushions. So I'm not surprised. It's just one of those things. All right. So here's our card that we have done this far thus. We're going to set this in so it's about 1/2 inch from the right and pretty much centered in top to bottom. And we'll give that a press. And that looks pretty darn nice, but we're going to make it even nicer. We're going to take that sentiment that we prepared. We're going to flip it over. Now this side is going to need 2 dimensionals, and this side is only going to need 1, okay? The reason is we've got a dimensional over here, and this is going to be hanging out over here, so you need to put 2 dimensionals stacked on the left side. So we're just going to set those right there on the ribbon. And I've got them both on stacked piggyback style, and then we'll take one more and put it over here. Now most of you would never have this problem, but I have this weird fetish with my ribbon falling off. So I'm going to take a little Scotch tape and just put this right here to make sure my ribbon stays where it's supposed to be. Okay, I know that was totally unnecessary, but it's just a thing with me. Okay, so now we're going to set this in. Whoops, got to be careful here so you don't get it down too quick because you want it to look just right. I think we're going to go up a little bit with it. I think that looks good. So we're probably 3/4 of an inch maybe from the bottom of this part. And then we're going to press it in. And we're done. Isn't it pretty? Oh my goodness, this just makes my heart sing. Just look at this. Look at those rainbows. Ooh, so pretty. So anyway, this could be a card that you win because I'm going to give away some of this ribbon, this Poppy Parade ribbon, and this could be the card that you win. So thanks for the hearts. I love it. All right, let's go on to the very last card that we're going to do. Let me get some things put away. Hold on here. Okay. I don't want my space is kind of a mess. I almost should have someone videotaping me while I'm doing this so you can see that I work in a small space. All right, so I am going to grab something we're doing. All right, so we are going to make this card. Ooh, so pretty. It says, "Dear friend, you are proof there is good in the world." So this is a really cool little thank you card, and it's so pretty. So we're going to make this. However, I have to show you something that you may have never worked with before. So I got to get all this stuff out. These are the delightfully detailed Memories and More cards. And one thing that Stampin' Up! Has done different this year is they're giving us envelopes in 2 different Memories and More card sizes. So, for example, you can get the Whisper White Memories and More large cards and envelopes. And you can create incredibly fast cards with the Memories and More pack. Get this out of the way. So what you do is you just take the Memories and More, fold it in half, and this is the large size. And then you take this, like this says Happy Birthday. You can just go like this. So we'll just use some glue because this is thick Whisper White. So thick Whisper White doesn't show through the glue lines. We're just going to make a quick birthday card. So we set this on here. Talk about simple stamping, right? Then they have all these different little, different stickers that you can add to your cards. So we're going to add It's Your Day right here. Happy birthday. Your card's done. All right. So that's how quick you can make a Memories and More card. I love that. Let me set this out of the way. But they have 2 sizes. So they got a size of envelopes for the big cards. Then they have the Whisper White Memories and More small cards and envelopes. And with the small cards and envelopes, you can use those smaller ones. So then, again, you can take one of those Memories and More cards and set it right here in the small Memories and More cards and envelopes. And ta-da, you've just created a cute little celebration card. Yay, it's done. So how fast is that? So if you need fast cards, that's a good way to go. However, one word of warning. The big cards are going to be no problem to put in the mail because they're big. They're, 4 1/4 by 6 inches or something like that. But these little guys, let me grab this. So here's what we're going to be making in a few minutes. This is made with the Memories and More small envelopes and note cards. There's a problem. So if you try to mail it, you put your card corner here. Uh-oh, it doesn't fit into this section. So you will get that returned or it will be lost. So if you want to mail something in the U.S. mail, it has to be at least 3.5 inches high by 5 inches long. So this is something that you could easily put into a 3.5 by 5 inch envelope, or you can mail it into a medium envelope, but you cannot mail it in this little envelope. But if you're giving somebody flowers or seeing somebody in person or giving them a gift card in person, this is perfect. Okay, so let me show you how to make this card. So again, we have the Whisper White Memories and More small cards and envelopes. And then we just went ahead, we folded that in half. I already used my bone folder, so it's ready to go. Then remember what I had all of this. So we're going to take this 3 by 4 inch panel from our Gingham Gala 6 by 6 cardstock. I'm going to take that out from here. And then we have a 1/2 inch strip. So when you take the 3 by 4 inch piece out, you have this little leftover area. And you can make easily two 1/2 inch strips. So we're going to be using this on the inside panel of our card. So I'm going to set that aside. We have some scrap paper because why do we need scrap paper? Oh, we're going to be punching. We're going to be stamping and punching. So this is a simple card with stamping and punching. So I'm going to grab my sentiment, which is right here, and it says, Dear Friend. So we're going to get our Stampin' mat, our Stampin' Pierce mat. We're inking this up with Old Olive. We're just going to stamp Dear Friend right here. Perfect. Then we're going to use the classic label punch. We're just going to punch that out. So you just want to center it in. Center it in. And punch that out. So we're going to use that on our card. So now I can put this out of the way. Okay, so that was quick and easy. Then we're gonna take this 2 by 3.5 inch panel, because that's what we're gonna stamp our pretty lily on. And we're going to kind of do the same thing we did before. So again, this was 2 by 3.5. We're going to grab some scrap paper here. We're going to take that lily, but we need to clean it because every time you stamp it with 2 different colors, that needs to be cleaned. So if you're coming to Spring Fling, pay attention. You want to have a chamois or possibly some wipes on hand, so you always start with a clean stamp every time you ink this up. Then you're going to take the, where'd it go? The Grapefruit Grove. And then we're going to take our sponge with our Poppy Parade, and we're going to sponge this bottom edge, just like so. And then we're going to stamp this. Oh, where's my sample? I have to remember. Yes, pretty close to the top. So we're going to stamp it just like that. Beautiful. It turned out perfect. I love it when that happens. Then we're going to take our Old Olive and put our stem on. No rocking. And then we're going to take that leaf, that beautiful, beautiful leaf, and again, no rocking. We're going to pretend we know right where this is going to go. So it's going to just be a little corner here. Perfect. And all of our stamping is done for this card. So all we have to do now is assemble. So we're going to take this 3 by 4 inch panel. We're going to put it onto our Memories and More card. This is thick Whisper White, so we don't need to worry about glue lines. Any thick Whisper White, no glue lines show. It's only the thinner Whisper White that you have to worry about that with. So there it is. Looks fantastic. Then we're going to take this and put it on with dimensionals. So we're going to grab some dimensionals. We're going to put 5 dimensionals on, and whenever I do dimensionals, I can look up and see who's making comments. Oh, yay! Rosemary says it's her dog's birthday today, so she's having fun watching me make the birthday card. I think, did I make a birthday card? I didn't make a birthday card. Oh, but you know what? She probably is referring to one of my past videos. Let's hope. All right, so we're going to set this right here, but she has a rescue dog, and it's her rescue dog's birthday today. You're going to love that stamp set that features the little puppy now and the little punch that goes with it. All right, so we just put our beautiful floral piece. We're going to put Dear Friend, so I'm going to do that with snail. Just put a little snail just on one side because the other side is going to hang over. We're going to set this in so it's, maybe 1/4 inch or so up from the bottom. Press that in. There we go. The front of our card is complete. It's so adorable. Now we're going to do the inside panel. So you have a 3 by, well, it's a 1/2 inch strip, but it's, I think, 3 inches. Yes, because it's the same as this panel. Again, I'm just going to use snail because I have it handy here. Otherwise, you could use glue, no problems. Set this here. And now let's do some stamping on the inside of our card. So I'm going to ink up this weird swooshy thing. Let me show you on the stamp set. Or not. Where is my stamp set? It's gone. How can I lose a stamp set? Crazy. Crazy how messy my little desk space is. But anyway, in the stamp set, there's this like kind of weird swish. I'm not sure what to do with it. So we're just going to stamp it in our card and put our sentiment in it. So there it is, all pretty. Looks pretty pretty. Then we're going to take our sentiment with Old Olive ink. So on the front it says, Dear Friend. On the inside it says, You are proof there is good in the world. And there it is. Our card is done. Don't you love it? I tell you what, I love it. I'm not going to be bashful. I love this card. All right, I'm going to move some things out of the way. So I've got a tad bit more room here. So let me get everything out. Oh, here I stamped an envelope. All right, so let me get everything out and show you everything we did today. So we've got these pretty ones. Oh my gosh. Isn't it beautiful? I was going to get this one so that you can see that it doesn't matter what wood textures you use. They're all beautiful. Then we have this one. So I'm curious, when I do my drawing on Monday, which card do you think you're going to pick? I think it's going to be fun to see what you two winners are going to pick, because you can pick whichever one you want. I'll mail it to you. And then I'll send along 2 yards of the Poppy Parade textured weave ribbon. How about that? I got it right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm actually off to Costco with my daughter. She's heading back to college and we need to get her supplied. So I probably won't put this up on my blog until next week. So have a great day, everyone. Thanks for stopping in, and be sure that you let me know where you're watching from. You make comments. All of that is good. And share this video and you will be in the drawing. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.